Don't respond. Don't respond. You ain't even peeped when the intro came on with the Teddy Pendergrass. That was that black vibe.
Try not to answer, don't answer, you ain't even pee when the introduction came on. With the Teddy Pendergrass, that was that dark pee, don't do it, don't go bevar, a brief stanza that I know yachty I realize you need to get that cash you a right on the money. Continue to purchase them large houses, yet I'ma let you know this, like a genuine ain't no more bulls, ain't no more ass fillers, ain't no more cheek fillers. Everybody was advertised for it, an expressive confrontation between the top rappers of today, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. In the good old days, things looked pretty chill between these two monsters as they highlighted on one another's tracks, yet over the long run, which began as cordial rivalry, exploded into an all-out quarrel thanks to Lamar's dangerous refrain on Spring 22nd in Future and Metro Blast's collection, "We have little to no faith in you, Lamar," leaving nothing on the table, tossing shade at Drake and Cole with lines like "better believe it, get up with me," have sneak dissing first-person shooter. I truly want to believe that they accompanied 3 switches and didn't stop there, adding "figure I won't drop the area, I actually got PTSDF." The huge 3, it's simply enormous me. However, Drake hadn't applauded back with verses. Yet he tossed a few words Lamar's direction during his show in Dawn FL on Spring 24th. Many individuals ask me how I'm believing. I will tell you how I'm feeling. And listen, the manner in which I'm feeling is the same way I believe that you should leave here feeling this evening about yourself, 'cause you realize how I'm feeling. I got my head as high as possible, my back straight. I'm tennis down in Florida or elsewhere I go. And I realize that regardless of what not of this world can ever in my life. And that is the reason I believe you should leave here this evening today. We're jumping into the exciting ride history of what was once a flourishing and cutthroat connection among Kendrick and Drake. Back in 2011, Drake truly moved forward his game, moving from a disruptive rookie to an all-out genius with his introduction collection. In the wake of shaking the grass with his "Say Thanks to Me Later" mission, individuals contemplated whether he could push his music significantly further. Take Care was his large yes to every one of the cynics as he got back to the energies that made up to this point gone, bringing a few significant names curious to see what happens, including the open commenting Kendrick Lamar knew off his segment 8. Buzz Lamar was being talked up as the following large thing from the West Coast gave him a spot to beam on the covered Alive break. Kendrick, feeling the lift from Drake's spotlight, dropped lines like "So put it on Mr. Ru." The motivation behind "Why I'm breathing all the vanity I realize," his certainty was through the rooftop, obviously started up by the gesture from Drizzy Drake, connected again to the rising star Kendrick Lamar, who had quite recently killed it with his Element on covered Alive. Drake later dropped a few lines about this decision in his 2016 track 4 p.m. Yet again in Calabasas, where he referenced how he pushed back on the idea to welcome a R&B craftsman on visit, picking rather for Kendrick and Ruff, as Kendrick and Drake collaborated this time on Kendrick's presentation collection. Their track fitting Retribution ended up being a hit, moving to number 26 on the Board Warm 100. Tragically, that coordinated effort denoted the last time Drake and Lamar cooperated after Kendrick Lamar caused disturbances with his significant name debut, great youngster Mad City. His certainty was out of this world, so high as a matter of fact that he got down on Drake and a lot of different rappers on enormous oceans. Track control Kendrick came in blistering, testing any semblance of J. Cole compliant plant. Drake huge crit whale. Pusha T quickly rough Tyler the Maker, MC Mill operator large Sean and J Electronica. He went hard saying "I got love for all of you, yet I'm attempting to kill you all, attempting to ensure your center fans never knew about you all. They would rather not hear not another thing or action word from you all." Drake got over KR's call out when he was included on the front of Bulletin that month, remarking, "I didn't actually have anything to say regarding it, just seemed like an aggressive idea to me, that is all it was. I know great and well that Kendrick isn't killing me by any stretch of the imagination in any stage, so when that day comes we can discuss it again." Kendrick kept the tension on at the 2013 BT Hip Bounce Grants, where he and his group TDE hit the stage over the shook. Onesby Kendrick made a few efforts. Nothing's been something very similar since they dropped I Disdain I effectively supplant yard out face ghetto and jobless with a normal everyday employment and kicking boxes I kick ass and afterward kick information I'm much more cleaned than the vast majority of the researchers you thought had graduated. Drake discussed his reaction to Kendrick on the language and why he felt it was vital to hold his ground against the Compton MC. Drake made sense of the situation transformed into an issue when I was dropping a collection. And that section was all anybody could discuss, so what was I expected to do? Imagine, we are in general great. Just to be clear, I've never said he's a miscreant, or that I could do without him. I truly think Kendrick is a dagnab virtuoso, yet I needed to persevere, and afterward I understood I was being goaded, and I wasn't going to take the lure. Resembles Michael Jordan, doesn't have to play road ball to demonstrate he has game. No disregard except for I'm not going to let this shake me. I feel perfect. And actually, there's no issue here. During this time, Kendrick and Drake were tossing conceal at one another. In their tracks, Kendrick got down on Drake's phantom riding tails and Lord Counta, with lines like I can dig rapping yet a rapper with an apparition writer. What the happened? Drake hit back in the games 100 in with I would have your fans as a whole in the event that I didn't go pop. And I remained on some cognizance. Kendrick didn't stop there. He kept the intensity coming on Dr. Dur's Compton collection. He made more efforts in Clouded Side Dove and Deep Water, with the chap having a few extraordinary lines they obligated to cover him. They designated 6 to convey him. They concern him to death. Yet he's no vegan. The hamburger is on his breath, acquiring the show better compared to an incredible white. This is life in my aquarium. So what started off the most recent hamburger? Between these two, everything began with a gesture towards solidarity. Shockingly enough, last October Drake dropped his 8th collection for every one of the canines, highlighting a track with J. Cole called First Person Shooter. In his section, Cole threw out the possibility that he, Drake, and Kendrick were the large 3 of the present hip bounce scene rapping love. When they contend the hardest MCs at K-Dav, is it Aubrey or me? We the large 3, like we began an association. The track shot directly to the highest point of the US singles graph, denoting Drake's 13th and Cole's most memorable number 1 hit. This accomplishment put Drake comparable to Michael Jackson for the most number 1 singles by a male independent craftsman. 7 days after the fact, Taylor Quick's Brutal Summer thumped them off the best position, and it seemed like the second was finished, yet Kendrick was discreetly taking notes. And he wasn't satisfied. Quick forward to Walk 2024. Metro Boomin and rapper Future drew their collection We Have Little to No Faith in You concealed, and the track list was a sensation track, considered that way, including an uncredited section by Kendrick. And it was a firestorm. Kendrick released a blast of firmly pressed, took advantage of 5 lines, focusing on Cole's huge 3 case, snapping back with no enormous 3, it's simply enormous me. He excused Drake and Cole's fest refrains as a light pack and strikingly situated himself as the ruler to Drake's Michael Jackson. The power of Kendrick's section is something you need to hear to completely get a handle on, yet it tops with him promising to cover Drake and J. Cole's All's Canines in the Pet Graveyard, a cunning turn playing on the title of Stephen Ruler's shock novel. And a dig at Drake's collection title. It's additionally fascinating to note where Kendrick's section landed. Metro Boomin, who once worked intimately with Drake, created most of Drake's 2015 collection. What an opportunity to be alive. Anyway, their relationship soared after a guaranteed continuation fell through, purportedly causing a few pressure. By 2022, Metro had cut Drake from a track and even unfollowed him on Instagram. Did Drake tap out? Absolutely no chance. Drake appeared to applaud back at Kendrick during a show in Florida, starting up the group with a disobedient message. He let the crowd know that many individuals ask him how his inclination his head is as high as